In this episode of the Owl Diary, you'll see a little owl that's been brought in from the wild with a peculiar eye condition. You'll see me flying a barn owl at a farm from somewhere where we did actually have a rescue owl previously. And you'll also see us flying Henrietta, our eagle owl free, for the first time in a little while, ready for some flying shows. But first, I want to talk to you about this eagle here, which is actually a new addition to our Owl Adventures team. So if you've been watching the channel, you'll know we have Storm, our Steps eagle. This here is Athena, who is another Steps eagle. And I picked this up from a guy down in Essex who was needing to rehome the bird. He'd got himself a golden eagle, needed some space, and he advertised the bird as being a lovely tame eagle, which, as you can probably see, she is. Now, she is quite different to Storm in the coloration, only 3 years old, which is still juvenile at this age for eagles, and much lighter feathers as well. We love these patches of lighter feather on the side. She's trying to bite my finger, I'm not going to let her. And this could be a marking of an eastern species, subspecies of Steps eagle, eastern parts of Russia, or it could be just the juvenile feathers as well. It's hard to tell. And when we say a female, it's because of her size, although she could be a very large male, but we're pretty sure she is a female, so we'll stick with the name Athena. This is a wild, common little owl that's been very kindly brought into us by a member of the public who has found it, we believe, a collision of some sort, possibly with a car or something else, a bit of head trauma. Now, we're going to get in close here. If you look here, I don't know how clearly you can see on the top there, but there's a little bit of a wound above that eye. I have put some F10 cream on, some antibacterial cream. The other eye, however, is also closed, and at the minute it's dried up a bit, but it's been quite leaky, in fact. Other than that, it's okay. Its weight is about 4.5 ounces, a little bit on the low side, so we've been popping some food in it directly with a tube and, liquid form, and we've also checked, of course, the feet, the wings, no breaks, anything like that. So I'm going to make sure it's eating, and if it won't eat, I will force feed it in the nicest way possible, crop feeding it with a little tube there, in fact just a little dispenser. We're also putting some extra vitamins and calcium and things in there as well, monitoring it closely. And what I'll do, today's Saturday, Monday, if there's no change at all, I will call the specialist vets and we'll get the specialists to look at it, see if they can determine what the issue is. Now, it might be that it recovers fairly well, but the eyes aren't going to work properly. Maybe it'll be blind in one eye or something like that. And if that's the case, then realistically, it wouldn't be releasable back into the wild. But fingers crossed, it's actually going to be okay and make a full recovery. So I'm here at the farm again with Rachel and Claire. Now these lovely ladies did help bring a barn owl in that was wild and injured into our rescue, and unfortunately it didn't make it, which I did put in the last Owl Diary. And I thought what I'd do is bring Juno here, one of our very well trained barn owls, ignore the dog in the background, nothing to worry about, not complaining I don't think, to just fly essentially for our guests here, and they'll have a bit of experience, fly to their glove as Juno often does. Right, off you go. Now, if you want to go first, you put your left hand in the glove there, because it'll already come into you. That's how quick she is. And I'm going to show you how we do a cast off. So what you're going to do is just push your hand off like that, just give a little push off, and she'll hopefully go back to the fence or the roof of my car, whatever's easiest. And if you want to maybe walk back a little bit and do it again, as soon as your arm raises, she'll see it and she'll fly to it. Now at the minute we're not feeding her any food because I've trained this bird to work really hard for her meal. Now if you think about birds in the wild, they're not always going to successfully catch something when they're hunting. So this is kind of mimicking that a little bit really. But if you cast her off again, just give her a big push. No, that's the phone itself. It's all right, we'll send her back over that way. She's choosing the car. There's all these lovely fences around, barn roofs and things, and yet she's going to the roof of the Volvo boot door, but there we go. So what I'm going to do is offer her a bit of food. We've got some chicken here. You like to hold that there, that'd be lovely, and you want to film this. And what I'll do this time, I'm just going to get one of the legs. See, that's fine. Let's see if we can get her to go a bit further though. We're going to aim for the fence, and we're going to, it's all right. Try and bend your arm there and bring her up to the top. There we go. I'm going to try and go to the fence. There we go. No, we're still going, because she's realised it's a nice, easy place to sit. This time I'll put the food in there and she comes into it, but sometimes they don't see it. There we go. Because their vision is actually quite blurry close up. That's all that is. I'm back in the museum gardens today and we're going to now fly Henrietta, our 22-year-old eagle owl, because she is still in shows and some events, doing a bit of walking around, a bit of simple flying. I'm going to give her a bit of exercise, a bit of training as flying show season is coming up. So we've got Nick and Grace doing the flying, and I suppose that question is to ask here is really, when do we retire Henrietta there? Because eventually she is going to be too old to fly, but at the moment she's spending most of her year at fat weight. That's where we feed her lots of rats, pheasant, quail, that type of thing. Get her molting, just give her some time off flying, and then what we'll do is get her out and fly her a little bit in the summer, just for a few months at the moment, and it's good enrichment as well. So what we're doing is doing some flying where she's between the logs over here, doing a bit of encouraging, bit of walking across the floors you've seen, just like that, which is actually very good at. And people really like that as well. And this is kind of how we fly an eagle owl, you know, it's very much simple perch to perch type stuff. You can get an eagle owl like this to fly to the glove, but it is a little bit harder. They're a little bit more reluctant to do it. And rather than trying to make her do that, we just offer this kind of style of flying. But we are looking at getting ourselves very soon a young Bengal eagle owl, which will be similar to this but lighter, and they'll fly to the glove a bit like a barn owl will, and that'll be a fantastic bird for flying shows and flying experiences as well. Doing some indoor flying like at the care homes and the schools, of course. Always nice to experiment with something different, isn't it?